There are moments in life you never forget. For me, this one started with a question I've been waiting to ask my entire life. It wasn't just about timing or a setting, it was about her. The girl who changed everything. Allie Marie Schnacky. I wasn't looking for love when I first met Allie. We were just kids, young, curious, and figuring out who we were. At the time, life was super simple. We didn't hang out that much. I kind of kept to my friends and my work, and she kept to hers. Looking back now at all of those little moments, it's funny because those were actually the start of a story that would change everything. As we grew older, everything around us quickly changed. The world shut down and everybody was forced indoors, only to be connected by social media. It slowly became a huge part of our lives. We weren't just posting videos and sharing updates. Unknowingly, our love story was being written out in front of everyone and we didn't even know it. We began to realize that we laughed at the same things and we loved the same food and we desired the same fulfillment of life with Christ. And little by little, what started as a friendship gradually turned into something more. We started to fall in love. I knew from the start of our friendship that I was gonna marry this girl. On April 3rd, 2021, I filmed this video.
I'm actually really hesitating making this video, but I feel something that I'm almost scared to admit. Allie, if you're watching this, I'm gonna marry you one day. I don't think you know it yet. I don't even think I know it yet, but I have a feeling. This is so awkward.
On November 13th, 2021, 8 months later, I asked her on our first date.
I drew a line for you. Oh, what a thing to do. And it was all yellow. Your skin, oh yeah, your skin and bones turn into something beautiful.
From then on, every bit of free time, every single ounce of my being was taken up. It became so hard to focus on work or anything because every single thought was her. I couldn't get her out of my mind. As we began to grow closer, there were a lot of really joyful and fun times. But along with that, there were times that were not so good. And it felt like they would never end. But through it all, God gave me grace for this beautiful girl and a love for her that I never thought possible for myself. Before I knew it, my heart was committed to her. I'm gonna take care of her, I'm gonna protect her no matter what it is. I eventually asked her to be my girlfriend and life seemed to speed up ever since. Gradually, conversations of marriage came up and questions of our future, seeing how we would feel about being in this for a lifetime. One day we were on a date that I had planned for us for our anniversary. We were at the beach. It was beautiful. At the end of the day, the sun was going down, and I remember walking back to our car and stopping at this stoplight. I threw my arm around Allie, and we were just sitting there. We weren't even really talking. And she looks up at me and she says, "You know what? I think I want you to ask me to marry you." Oh my God, I can't explain to you the amount of joy that went over in my heart. And I'm like trying to be cool, right? In that moment, that's the happiest that I have ever been. I never wanted to make a decision if we weren't on the same page. And this was one of the biggest decisions that we would ever make. I was waiting for her to find that peace and be ready to step into a new season. And she was ready. So it's go time. The girl that I met so long ago that had amazed me for years was going to be my wife. Ooh! It doesn't get better than that. Now, with that being said, there was so much to do. The next biggest moment was asking her dad and mom for their blessing to marry their daughter. So I called Lance on the phone and asked him if they would be up to talk and meet up and have a conversation. And he knew exactly what I was talking about. I don't know how he knew, to the point where he was like, yeah, well, Miss Kim needs to be there. And I'm like, oh. Gosh dang, he definitely knows. I'm stressing out. This is a huge moment for me. We set up a time and I'm walking over to the house. My heart's beating out of my chest. I'm trying to play it cool, but when the time came, we sat down, I took a deep breath, and I bared all of my feelings and intentions with Allison. After I was finished, they paused, took turns, and voiced their feelings and opinions on everything. And at the end of it all, they said yes. Let's go. And of course, after that, I couldn't leave everybody out. I then went and asked Noah. I went and asked Colby. I went and asked Noelle at the same time. I went and asked Ella. I went over to Grandma and Grandpa's house. I made my rounds to make sure everybody knew how I was feeling and asked all of them for their blessing. They all said yes, and I'm so excited for the future to come. Now the planning starts. Where do we get a ring? How am I gonna do it? Is this even possible with our busy schedule? This was all rushing through my head. I need to get this done as soon as possible. She started sending me ring photos, like every girl does on Pinterest, but we never could find one that was like her. God had it all figured out. I got connected with this company called Faithful Platform out of Kentucky. After many Zoom calls, everything was perfect. I remember the day that I got the message that the ring was ready to be picked up, and oh my gosh, I was so excited, I didn't even know what to do with myself. There was only one problem. The ring was in Kentucky, and I live in Florida. So there was only one thing that I could do. I had to go pick it up myself. We got probably about an hour before the plane boards, and we head off to Kentucky. Allie has no idea that I'm even gone, so I forgot to tell her or give her an excuse of why I'm going. So this is gonna be interesting figuring it out. Let's go. I found flights that left at 5 a.m. from Orlando to Kentucky. So at 3 a.m. from my parents' house, we headed out. Level 3, row D. Made it to Faithful Platform and met the team responsible for the most perfect ring that I had ever seen. They were some of the coolest people I'd ever met. We ate with them and they shared their heart of the company of why they do what they do. They're a Christian company whose mission is not just to help couples find their perfect ring, but work with them in marriage counseling and guidance for the future. It was one of the first companies that I've ever seen that their heart is to make a difference in somebody's life well past a transaction. This is just a start. We want to help you succeed in your life. After hearing that, it got me so excited that a company that was so eager to please the Lord and be a part of our story was going to do the ring. We then thanked them for all of their hard work and their willingness to make this such a special time for Allie and I, and we grabbed the ring and headed out. The goal was to get back before anybody noticed, and we ended up getting back at 12 a.m. We pulled it off. And now figuring out how I want to do it and making sure that Allie does not find out. I kept waiting for the perfect moment. We had so much going on this year and every day was getting taken up. I'm like, if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it and I'm not going to have enough time. So I just went for it. And I chose a day that was probably in the middle of one of the busiest weeks we had had, July 14th. Allie was on a week-long trip that she gets back on the 13th. I leave to Italy on Noah's bachelor trip on the 15th. So there was one day in between that I was like, you know what? If there's ever going to be a day that she's not going to think something's coming because it's so crammed, it would be this day. In Mount Dora, Florida, there's this inn called the Lakeside Inn. From the very beginning of our relationship, we've been going to play board games in the lobby during Christmas time. We danced on the dock. We explored the hotel. This place is genuinely like traveling back in time. It's incredible. So I went ahead and reached out to them and explained how their inn was such a massive part of Allie and I's story and how I wanted to propose there. Immediately, they were like, yes, we're doing it. What do you need? Honestly, if you've never been to the Lakeside Inn, Allie might get mad at me for saying this, to be honest with you, because she's like, this is our spot. We shouldn't tell too many people about it, but you guys need to go check it out. How could we turn this into something so special that she would never forget it? And I came up with the idea of covering the entire dock, 11,000 flowers. Through the whole process and calculating it, we realized that it would take over 35 to 40 hours for a small group of us to prep all of these flowers. So I called in all the guys to help because it was gonna be a monster. And finally, it was here. I had poured so much time and energy and resources into this moment. The storm. I couldn't believe it. She was so close to showing up, and it was raining harder than it had rained in months. Everything raced through my head. Was this a waste? Should I cancel the engagement? Did every ounce of energy that we all poured into this thing just completely go out the window? I was sitting in my car and I just started praying. By this time, all the family had started showing up and there was just 45 minutes till she was supposed to arrive. Before I knew it, the rain pulled back, the sky started softening. I couldn't believe it. God came through. As she was closer to showing up, I then went to go get dressed. My brother had rented one of the rooms and we were able to go in there and get refreshed. In the middle of me getting ready and focusing and trying to figure out what I'm gonna say, my dad stops me and he goes, hey, just remember, you only get one of these, so make sure to enjoy it. And as soon as he said that, you know what? It's in God's hands. You're right. And I was able to take a moment and just relax for a second, feel what it felt to not be engaged for one more second and just be with my family because everything was about to change. And I know we're not getting married. I know it's just we're getting engaged. But to me, this is one of the last big steps of becoming a man per se, that like you now start to move towards really building a family. And that's huge to me. And to be honest, that was one of my favorite memories of the entire day, was just taking a second, relaxing and being in the moment. Now, years later, looking back at that beginning, the kid version of me meeting this little girl that would change my life. And I realized that every step, every chapter led up to this moment.